Welcome to the lecture series on information theory and coding. This is lecture number 43 on module number 3. In the previous class, we about the channel. We have seen the discrete communication channels. What are discrete communication channels? And how these discrete communication channels having discrete input symbols and discrete output symbols are represented using the conditional probabilities. Okay, so in the previous class we have seen how an input having different input symbols and an output having output symbols are represented using the probabilities, conditional probabilities, defining so the probability of receiving any of the output symbol provided which input symbol is transmitted. Okay, so in the previous class we also saw about the channel matrix or the noise matrix. Okay, so this matrix is having all the conditional probabilities for all possible input symbols and output symbols. Okay, so we saw the channel diagram showing the transitions, okay, between any input symbol and any output possible symbols. And today we will start with matrix, and we will see some properties of this joint probability matrix. What is the importance of this joint probability matrix? So is this PDF visible? Is my screen shared? Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in the previous class, we have completed up to this point. We have seen the equations for the calculation of output symbols, probability of output symbols. We have seen if we know the probability, conditional probabilities and input probabilities, then we can easily find out the output probabilities using the theorem of total probability. So these are the equations that we have seen in the previous class. Okay, so we have also seen how to calculate the input conditional probabilities. These conditional probabilities are the output conditional probabilities. What is the probability with which I am receiving this output symbol if this input symbol is transmitted? That is the output conditional probabilities. So using those information, we can also calculate the input conditional probabilities. So which is nothing but what is the probability that I have transmitted A1, okay, if the receiver has received B1, B2, B3 up to BS. So receiver has received some message, some symbol. So what is the probability that I may have sent A1 bit, A1 symbol? So that is the input conditional probabilities, and this is the equation using the Bayes rule, which we can use to input condition. So there are some conditional probabilities we can use for the calculation for the prediction of the outputs and input conditions. Okay, so now coming to the joint probability. So as the name itself indicates, the joint probability between any input symbol and any output symbol is nothing but the probability with which the input is transmitted, one symbol, and the output is received at the receiver symbol. For example, P of A1, B1. A1, B1. This is the probability. A1 is transmitted and B1 is received. Okay, so A1 and B1. So A1 is transmitted and B1 is received. And if it is A1, B2, so A1 is transmitted and B2 is received. So what is the probability that A1 is transmitted and B2 is received at the receiver side? So these are the joint probabilities. Okay, so joint probability between any symbols, any input symbols AI and any output symbols BJ is given by P of AI, BJ is equal to P of AI, which is nothing but AI intersection BJ, is equal to P of Bj by Ai into P of Ai. P of Bj by Ai into P of Ai. So this is the output conditional probability, P of Bj by Ai, and this is the input probability. So we can also write this as input conditional probability into output probability. Output conditional probability into input probabilities, or input conditional probabilities into output probabilities. So this is the standard equation we can use to calculate the joint probabilities. So this joint probability is very important. Okay, so later we will see while solving the examples. So these joint probabilities will help us calculate all the missing probabilities or the condition or the characteristics of the channel. Okay, so this is about the joint probability. Considering the channel matrix, so here the channel matrix in the previous class, okay, we have seen this channel matrix. So presented of Bj by Ai, only the conditional probabilities. Which conditional probabilities? Output conditional probabilities. So elements of these channel matrix are nothing but output conditional probabilities for all possible input symbols and all possible output symbols. Okay, so we have this channel matrix and we can convert this channel matrix to the joint probability matrix. How? So here it is explained. Considering the channel matrix and multiplying each element by its corresponding input probabilities. We have the channel matrix, we have all the output conditional probabilities. So if we multiply each element input probability is what? Input is what? A1 here. In this conditional probability, input is A1, output is B1. Input symbol is A1, output symbol is B1. So if we multiply this probability with its corresponding input probabilities, that is P of A1. P of A1. If we multiply this with P of A1, then we will get corresponding joint probability. P of A1 comma B1. So this is what it is saying. So if we multiply the elements of channel matrix with corresponding input probabilities, then we will get joint probability matrix. So considering the channel matrix and multiplying each element by its corresponding input probabilities. So here it is written. So these are the elements of channel matrix. So these are the elements of channel matrix. So here we are writing the multiplication of its corresponding input probabilities. Here the input is A1, so into PA1. In the next A1, here it is again A1, so P of A1. Again A1, P of A1. So this completes the first row. Coming to the second row, P of B1 by A2. Here in this probability, the input symbol is A2. So we are going to multiply probability of A2 symbol, A2 input symbol. So P of A2, again A2 is here into P of A2. A2 is here, P of A2. Okay. So similarly, for all the rows up to the last row for AR. So P of B1 by AR into P of AR, P of B2 by AR into P of AR. So up to P of BS by AR into P of AR. So row wise we are having the input symbols and column wise we are having output symbols B1, B2 up to BS. So we are writing the conditional probabilities the multiplication of input symbols, corresponding input symbols. So now this becomes P of A1 comma B1. So this multiplication becomes P of A1 comma B2 because A1 is the input symbol and B2 is the output symbol, and this becomes P of A1 comma BS. P of A1 comma Bs. So similarly, this becomes P of A2 comma B1, P of A2 comma B1. So this multiplication becomes P of A2 comma B2. This one becomes P of A2 comma Bs. So similarly, up to the last row, it is P of AR comma B1, P of AR comma B2, and P of AR comma Bs. So this is a matrix, and we can represent this as P of Bj by Ai. So in channel matrix, we are representing by Ai or P of B by A. So here P of Bj by Ai, we are multiplying with input symbols, probability of input symbol. So here also we will, in the left hand side also we will multiply with probability of input symbol. Input symbol is Ai here, so P of Ai. So this becomes what? Joint probability. Joint probability P of Ai comma Bi. Sorry, Bj. P of Ai comma Bj, or we can also write it as P of A comma B. P of A comma B. So this is joint probability matrix, or in short we call it as a JPM, joint probability matrix, JPM. So the matrix whose elements or the joint probabilities between input and output symbols is called as joint probability matrix, written as JPM, denoted by P of Ai comma Bj or P of A comma B. So this matrix is very important. Okay, so using this matrix we are going to solve a lot of problems, and for the solution we need to construct, if we are not having, we need to construct this JPM. So any doubts so far? Are you able to hear me? Is my voice clear? Is it breaking?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So anyone, any doubts so far about this JPM, joint probability matrix? Any doubts? Okay. Coming to the properties of JPM. So this having some properties, we can observe it here in the properties. So first one, by adding the elements of JPM column wise, we can obtain the probability of output symbols. By adding the elements of JPM, joint probability matrix, column wise, we can obtain the probability of output symbols. So addition of all these probabilities column wise. Let me show it once again. Addition of all these probabilities in the JPM column wise will give you probability of output symbol. Here the output symbol is what? Probability of B1. Probability of output symbol B1. So sum of all these probabilities will give you probability of B2. So similarly for all the columns up to the last column, which will give you the probability of BS. So this is not there with our channel matrix. Okay, so in the channel matrix we can't say that sum of all these probabilities is equal to the probability of output symbol, but we can do that, we can calculate that, we can examine that with G. Okay, so similarly, so we can summarize this as summation I is equal to 1 to R 1 to R because we have R number of rows, R number of rows. So R number of elements will be there. Okay, in this column. So 1 to R, P of AI comma Bj is equal to P of Bj. So this is the standard equation for the first property. So similarly, by adding the elements of the JPM row wise. So in the first one, we have seen addition of elements column wise. Here it is row wise. We can obtain the probability of input symbols. So now if we add all these elements of the JPM row wise, will give you probability of input symbol. Input symbol is A1, 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 A1 up to all A1. So probability of A1. So if we add this row, probability all the elements, we will get A2, A2, A2. So probability of A2, input symbol A2. So similarly, all the rows up to the last row where the input symbol is AR, AR, AR. So addition of all these probabilities will give you probability of AR. This is the second property. If we have the JPM, if we add all the elements column wise, we will get output probabilities. If we add all the elements row wise, we will get input probabilities. Okay, so we can summarize this as summation j equal to 1 to s. Why 1 to s? So there are s number of elements in each row. Yes, number of elements in each row. So j is equal to 1 to s. AI is constant. So we are not writing the summation limits for AI. We are writing the limits for j because j is varying. Output bits or output symbols are varying here. So P of AI comma Bj is equal to P of AI. So this is how we can put in the general form for the property 2. Now coming to the third property. Third property. The sum of all the elements of JPM is equal to unity. Sum of all the elements of JPM. All elements. Not row wise, not column wise, but complete all elements of JPM is always equal to unity, is always equal to 1. So here we can have two parameters. One is for input, one is for the output. So that is I and j. I is varying from 1 to R and j is varying from 1 to S. So we have two summations here. One for the input variable, one for the output variable. So I is a variable we can use for input. So it is varying from 1 to R, and j is a variable we can use for output symbols, different output symbols, which is varying from 1 to S. So P of AI comma Bj is equal to 1. So sum of all these joint probabilities in the JPM is equal to unity. Okay, so these are the three main properties of the JPM. So any doubts here? So these are simple properties, and we can also verify this using an example. Okay, in the exam, they may ask you explain about the JPM, general form of JPM, and write its properties. Okay, so first you need to write the channel matrix and come to the joint probability, and then write the JPM and then go for the properties. So if they ask you about the JPM, even though it is not related to the channel, it is not equal to the channel matrix, but you need to explain, you need to write the channel matrix first. Then you go for the JPM. Okay, so any doubts so far? The properties of this JPM? Yes, any doubts? Yes, students, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So anyone, any doubts? Okay, shall we proceed further? Okay, let's see one example here. First example of this module. In a communication system, a transmitter has three input symbols, A1, A2, and A3. We have one communication system. At the transmitter, it is producing three input symbols, A1, A2, A3. And receiver has three output symbols, B1, B2, B3. The missing probabilities, first one. So they have given the JPM here and some probabilities are missing in these matrix and we need to find all those missing probabilities. Second one, find the specific conditional probabilities are given here. P of B3 by A1 and P of A1 by B3. So this is second, and third sub question is, are the events A1 and B1 statistically independent? So we need to comment on this answer. We need to write in your own words about this third question. So we need to analyze whether the A1 and B1 are statistically independent or not. Okay. So let's go with the first one. So this is the JPM given. So 1 by 12 here, star mark is there. That means it is missing here. We need to find this probability. 5 by 36, 5 by 36, 1 by 9, 5 by 36, and this probability is missing, 1 by 6, and this probability is missing. And these are the output probabilities given. Output probabilities 1 by 3, 14 by 36, and one more is missing here. We need to calculate this one. So we have 4 missing probabilities here. So which we need to find, and then we need to find these specific conditional probabilities given, and then later we need to comment on this one. Okay. Okay, coming to the solution. So let's find this first. So we know that P of B1 plus P of B2 plus all up to P of Bs, that is the summation of all output bits is equal to 1, right? So we already know this. Sum of all possible output symbols, sum of probabilities of all possible output symbols is equal to 1, and similarly sum of all possible input symbols is also equal to 1. P of A1 plus P of A2 plus up to plus P of AR is equal to 1. These are the only possible output symbols. So sum of all probabilities of all symbols is equal to 1. So these are the only possible input symbols. So sum of probabilities of all these symbols is equal to 1. Okay. So these are the standard equations, standard rule that we need to follow when we come to the probability theory. Okay. So first one. So the first one, okay, they have calculated P of B2. Sorry, P of B3 here, P of B3, this one. So S is equal to 3 in this equation. So J1, J is equal to 1, 2, 3 because we have 3 output symbols. P of B1. So this is P of B1. This is P of B2. and this is P of B3, which is missing, which we need to find. P of B1, P of B2, and P of B3, which is missing. So we need to find this P of B3 now. So we know that summation of j equal to 1 to s of output probabilities is equal to 1. Okay. So j is varying from 1 to 3 here. 1, 2, 3. So P of B1 plus P of B2 plus P of B3 is equal to 1. So P of B1 is 1 by 3 given. P of B2 is 14 by 36 given. And P of B3, which is missing, is what we need to calculate is equal to 1. So from this equation, we can directly calculate the P of B3 because that is the only unknown variable here. So P of B3 is equal to 5 by 18. So adding these two and sending the value to the right side. So this becomes 1 minus the addition of these two numbers, we will give you 5 by 18. So we can fill the answer here. So it is 5 by 18. 5 by 18. Okay. So next, from property 1 of JPM, P of B1. So P of B1 is 1 by 3 is equal to what? Sum of all these probabilities. So sum of first column will give you P of B1. Sum of elements of first column is P of B1. So that is what we are writing. P of B1 is equal to P of A1 comma B1, A1 comma B1. So this is P of A1 comma B1 plus P of A2 comma B1 plus P of A3 comma B1 is equal to P of B1. So P of A1 comma B1 plus P of A2 comma B1 plus P of A3 comma B1. B1 is common here. So this is equal to P of B1, output symbol B1. Okay. So A1 comma B1 is given 1 by 12. A1 comma B1 is 1 by 12. A2 is 5 by 36. A2 comma B1 is 5 by 36. A3 comma B1 is unknown probability which we need to calculate. Okay, so let's keep it as it is, and is equal to P of B1. P of B1 is 1 by 3. So this is equal to 1 by 3. So add these two, and if we send this to the left hand side, it will be 1 by 3 minus addition of these two numbers. So this is equal to P of A3 comma B1 is equal to 1 by 9. So this is the value that we'll get. So here we can write the calculated values. So it is 1 by 9. 1 by 9. So similarly, we can use this row, sorry, this column, or we can use this row. But we don't have the input probabilities with us. So we cannot go for row wise. We can only go for the column wise. Okay. If we add the JPM elements column wise, we will get the output probability, which is equal to the output probability. So here, if we add the elements in the second column, we will get P of B2. So similarly, we are writing this here, P of A1 comma B2 P plus P of A2 comma B2 plus P of A3 comma B2 is equal to P of B2. So P of B2 is given here 14 by 36. 14 by 36 is P of B2. A1 comma B2 is missing, so let's write it as it is. Next, A2 comma B2 is 1 by 9. A2 comma B2 is 1 by 9, and A3 comma B2. A3 comma B2 is 1 by 6. So it is 1 by 6. A1 comma B2 is the only unknown term. We can find out that easily. Add these two and send it to the left hand side. So we will get 1 by 9. A1 comma B2 is 1 by 9. So let's 1 by 9. Now coming to the third column, add these elements to get the output of B3. B3 symbol, probability of B3 symbol. So similarly, P of B3 is equal to P of A1 comma B3 plus P of A2 comma B3 plus P of A3 comma B3. So this is the unknown term here, A3 comma B3, and we know these two values and also probability of B3.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, PDF is not visible.
Yes.
PDF is not visible yet, sir.
PDF is not visible.
No, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we are calculating P of A3 comma B3. So we know these values. P of B3 is equal to 5 by 18. P of A1 comma B3, A1 comma B3 is 5 by 36. 5 by 36. A2 comma B3, A2 comma B3, A2 comma B3 is 5 by 36 again. So this is also 5 by 36. So this is the only unknown term. We can calculate that easily. Add these two and send this to the left hand side. So 5 by 8, sum of will give you A3 comma B3. So this is equal to 0. So 0 is the answer here. So we can fill that answer. 0. So we have calculated all the missing probabilities, right? So this is about the first sub question. Now coming to the second sub question, P of B3 by A1. So P of B3 by A1. So we have this base rule, base equation. So we can use that. So this is equal to what? P of A1 by P of A1. So using the conditional probability rule, so P of B3 by A1 is equal to P of A1 comma B3 divided by P of A1. So we should remember all these equations, all these conditions, okay, all these formulas in the probability theory, okay, at least about the conditional probabilities, joint probabilities, Bayes rule, total probability theorem. So at least we should know all those things. What is the mean? What is the variance? So that will be helpful for the module number 3. So we know these two values, P of A1 comma B3 is given in this JPM. So A1 comma B3, B3 is here. So this is P of A1 comma B3 joint probability A1 comma B3. Next P of A1. So we don't know this P of A1, right? So from property 2 of JPM, P of A1 can be calculated, right, by adding all the elements in the first row will give you probability of P of A1, probability of first symbol A1. So sum of all the elements in the second row will give you P of A2, probability of second input. So similarly, adding of all the elements in the third row will give you P of A3. Okay, so here which is required, P of A1 is required, so we will add the first row, so that is P of A1 comma B1, P of A1 comma B2 plus P of A1 comma B3. Okay, so A1 comma B1, first element, A1 comma B1, 1 by 12. So 1 by 12. A1 comma B2, A1 comma B2, 1 by 9. So it is 1 by 9. A1 comma B3, A1 comma B3 is 5 by 36. So 5 by 36. So if we add all these, we will get 1 by 3. So that will be the P of A1. So P of A1 we know, P of A1 comma B3 we know. So we can easily calculate P of B3 by A1. So dividing 5 by 36 divided by 1 by 3, you will get P of B3 by A1, which is equal to 5 by 12. Okay. So this is P of B3 by A1. So similarly, P of A1 by B3. So A1 by B3. Okay. Again, using the conditional probability rule. So A1 by B3 is equal to P of A1 comma B3 divided by P of B3. A1 comma B3 is against the same thing, 5 by 36, and this time instead of P of A1 we have P of B3. So this is same, numerator is same, A1 comma B3, A1 comma B3. Okay, so only the denominator is changed. Here we have input symbol, here we have output symbol because of the change in input output condition here. So P of B3 is what? P of B3 is here. P of B1, B2, B3. So P of B3 is 5 by, okay. P of B3 is 5 by 18. So 5 by 36 divided by 5 by 18, you will get 1 by 2. So P of A1 comma B3. So this is about the second subquestion. Now coming to the third one. Are the elements A1 and B1 statistically independent? So for A1 and B1 to be independent, we must have, we know this equation, P of A1 intersection B1 is equal to P of A1 comma B1 is equal to P of A1 into P of B1. A1 intersection B1 is equal to P of A1 into P of B1. So this equation, this condition, this formula we have already covered in the introduction class, right? First 3 to 4 class which we have taken for this subject. So there we have covered all these things. So if A1 and B1, if any two events are independent, then the probability of intersection of those two events is equal to the multiplication of individual events, probability of individual events. So this is what we have seen in the introduction class. Okay, I will repeat that once again. So listen to this carefully. For any two events to be independent, so the probability of intersection of those two events is equal to multiplication or the product of probability of individual events, product of probability of independent events, product of probability of independent events. So here it is P of A1 and probability of P of B1. So if these two are independent, then this condition should satisfy. So let's see whether this condition will satisfy or not. So we know P of A1. P of A1 is calculated here. So it is 1 by 3. So P of A1 is calculated here. It is 1 by 3. Next, we know P of B1 from the JP given. Okay, this is also 1 by 3. P of B1 is also 1 by 3. So P of A1 into P of B1 is equal to 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 is 1 by 9. So is it equal to A1 comma B1? P of A1 comma B1. P of A1 comma B1 is the first element, 1 by 12. So P of A1 comma B1. A1 comma B1. So it is 1 by 12, which is not equal to 1 by 9. Okay. So here we have 1 by 12. and here we have 1 by 9, so which is not equal, so these two are not independent. So A1 and B1 are not independent, they are dependent. So A1 and B1 are depending on each other. So there are some conditional probability existing, okay, for A1 sent and B1 received. So because of that, these two are not independent. So this is about the third sub question, completing the solving the first problem. So any doubts here in this first problem? Any doubts? Is it visible? Is this PDF visible to everyone? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubts here? Have you understood this problem? It's a simple example. If you know the probability rules, you can easily solve this. So any doubts here? Okay. So we will continue. Next is entropy functions and equivocation. So there are some entropy functions related to this channel. So we will discuss that. And one more important term is equivocation. So let's see those things. So first one is the priori entropy. So we have some different entropies here related to the channel representation. So we will understand that. Priori entropy. So this priori entropy is nothing but the entropy of the input symbols. Entropy of the input symbols, which are nothing but A1, A2 up to AR in general, before their transmission. So before the transmission, so whatever entropy we are having for the input symbols, we call that as a priori entropy. Simple. Okay, so which is denoted by H of A. Why A? A is a set. A is the set which is having all these possible input symbols, A1 to AR. Okay, so we are finding the entropy for this set, whole set. Okay, so this H of A, we already know the equation from the first module. Summation of I is equal to 1 to R, because number of symbols are R here. P of AI log 1 by P of AI bits per message symbol. So this is the standard equation. We have already covered this in the first module. Okay, so we call this as a priori entropy when it comes to the channel representation. Okay, so if we are not considering the channel, we call this is a entropy of input symbol. Okay, so next, posteriori or conditional entropy. So entropy of the input symbols after transmission. After transmission and reception of a particular output symbol Bj. So we have transmitted and they have received. So they have transmitted after the transmission and after the reception of some particular output symbol. That may be the exact symbol which we have transmitted or some other symbol because of the noise. Okay, so there we come across conditional entropy. Okay, so this is called as a posterior entropy or conditional entropy, denoted by H of A by Bj. H of A by Bj, which is equal to summation I is equal to 1 to R P of AI by Bj log 1 by P of AI by Bj, bits per message symbol. So till now we were playing with these conditional probabilities. So when we have the probability, then we can calculate the entropy. Entropy is the average information content. Okay. So after the transmission and after the reception of some particular output symbol, what is the entropy or what is the average information in that transmission. So that we are calculating here using the conditional entropy. Okay, so A is transmitted. So what is the and Bj, some Bj, B1, B2 or B3, B4, any symbol is received. So we are calculating the entropy of that transition, that transmission using this entropy, conditional entropy. Okay. Next, third one, equivocation. Equivocation is defined as the average value of all the conditional entropies specified in the above equation. So this equation. And this is denoted by H of A by P. So here we have considered only the reception of particular output symbol, but in equivocation we are considering in general about all conditional probabilities. Okay, we have transmitted input symbol and they have received, the receiver has received output symbol. So in general we are calculating the average value. So that is called as a equivocation, denoted by H of A by B, and it is given by H of A by B is equal to expected value of H of A by Bj. So we can write this as summation j equal to 1 to s P of Bj into H of A by Bj. So this is conditional entropy or posteriori entropy. So if we submit or if we substitute this equation here, so we will end up getting this equation. So we have one summation in this H of A by Bj, and we have already having one summation here. So we will getting two summations, one for the input and one for the output symbols. I is equal to 1 to R from this conditional entropy, and summation of j equal to 1 to s from this equivocation. So P of ai comma bj log 1 by P of ai by bj. Okay, bits per message symbol. So this is the final equation that we get. Okay, so equivocation specifies the average amount of information. So this equivocation is a measure of average amount of information needed to specify an input symbol, provided we are allowed to make an observation of the output produced by that input symbol. Okay, so equivocation is a measure of average amount of information needed to specify an input symbol transmitted, and if we know the output symbol, provided we are allowed to make an observation of the output produced by that input symbol. So for example, A1 is transmitted and B1 is received. Or we can write like this. Sorry, let it put this way only. A1 and B1. So if we are allowed to make an observation of the output produced is B1, if we know this value, then we can calculate if A1 is a transmitted symbol. Sorry, if B1 is received, what is the value of what is the probability of A1 being transmitted from the sender side, and what is the average amount of information for this condition, P of A1 by B1. So therefore, equivocation is a measure of uncertainty when symbols are transmitted over the channel, and hence represents the amount of information lost due to noise with respect to output symbols. So equivocation is a measure of uncertainty, okay, when symbols are transmitted over the channel. So when symbols are transmitted over the channel, so what is the measure of uncertainty? And that we can calculate using equivocation equation. Okay, so we will study little bit more about this equivocation in the coming classes using an example. Okay, so any doubts till now? Any doubts, anyone?